Mad Wolf here. As you guys know by now, I am a big fan of Wolfenstein 3D. I grew up with it since I was like 4 years old. I played the hell out of it. I beat the hell out of it. I've played Spear of Destiny, beat the hell out of that one. Final level gave me some nightmares as a kid. Yeah, that was a thing. And, I modded the hell out of Wolfenstein 3D, turning it into my own thing, trying to develop new ideas and everything for it. But I want to talk to you about Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Now, as a child, 4 years old, when Wolfenstein first came out, I was kind of always looking forward to the next Wolfenstein game. Why? Because I was seeing so much new stuff coming out. I've seen Doom, I've seen Rise of the Triad, I saw GoldenEye. I was always looking forward to the next Wolfenstein, and for a while it felt like Medal of Honor on the PlayStation was going to be the closest thing I got to an actual Wolfenstein 2. Well, then we got Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Now, despite the confusing title, it is not a sequel. It's actually a remake. It starts with BJ Blazkowicz escaping from Castle Wolfenstein, going to town, finding out that the Nazis are unearthing some ancient muckety-muck, and taking the fight to them. It is actually called Return to Castle Wolfenstein because the end of the game goes back to Castle Wolfenstein when the ancient muckety-muck is unearthed, and blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. So the first time that I did play Return to Castle Wolfenstein was actually the PS2 version, Operation Resurrection. Sadly, I don't have this version anymore. The reason being is because when I got a PS3, come to find out the PS3 was not backwards compatible with PS2 games, which made it really pointless for me to have PS2 games. But after Arctic Vixen and I did hook up, and I got an Xbox 360 for free, score, one of the first games that I did look into was Return to Castle Wolfenstein Tides of War, the Xbox original port. I can't say Xbox One thanks to the new systems, idiots. But thanks to Xbox 360 being backwards compatible, yes, I have Tides of War. I still have Tides of War. It is actually a really good port, and in some ways kind of better than the PC version, in which there's 2-player split screen support, so you could play on the couch with your buddy. There was online multiplayer. I don't know if that's still active with how old the game is and all that stuff going on. Everyone wants to play like the new Halo and Call of Duty and whatnot, so I don't imagine they would want to play, this 19-year-old game online anymore. But yeah, and even the cutscenes. So the PC version used in-game graphics and camera angles and stuff to do the cutscenes. The PS2 and Xbox version actually had like pre-rendered cinematics, and it looked a lot better than the PC version.
This is Castle Wolfenstein, located in the Harz Mountains of northern Germany, property of Heinrich Himmler. Now, we've known of the existence of Castle Wolfenstein for some time, but we've only recently heard reports from our Kreisau Circle contacts in the German resistance regarding bizarre occult rituals taking place there.
Charming.
But at the moment, we don't know how it ties in with this massive archaeological dig near Castle Wolfenstein.
So, advanced weapons, rocketry, chemical and biological research. Now, the occult.
Still doesn't add up.
Some additional thing to note about the console ports of Return to Castle Wolfenstein: the PS2 version, you can upgrade your stats at the end of levels with the secrets and the treasures you find. Unfortunately, I don't really have footage to show this, once again, because I don't have the PS2 version anymore. The Xbox version, however, is a little bit cooler because you do get some new guns. I definitely know there's a shotgun in some of the later levels. There's some new enemy types. They're like occultic robed guys. Don't know really how to explain them. Mutated German shepherds with chain guns. The Xbox version has quite a bit of new features, but I do really like the co-op feature, playing with a friend on the sofa, which I have done with Arctic Vixen every now and again. As far as the gameplay goes, like I said, you start off in Castle Wolfenstein, you're breaking out, you're fighting the German soldiers, you're going all over Germany, you're unearthing stuff, going into tombs, very Indiana Jonesy kind of deal, and fighting some skeletons. There's some big bosses. I think only like 2 or 3 in the entire game, and the first one is kind of a bitch to kill. You have to keep dodging around, not getting hit by these skulls, picking up health, and it's literally the old school big boss battles, which is shoot it with enough bullets until it falls down and it's dead. There is no quick time events here. There is no button switches that you turn on and it's like, oh, we do this 3 times and kills the big boss. No, this is literally a first-person shooter big boss battle, and it can be pretty grueling depending on difficulty you're playing it on, depending on skill, whatever.
Yeah, they're always pissed. They're Nazis. It's like it's their job.
As far as complaints go, you know, it's kind of weird because I remember when this game came out, the people in this town that I shared the game with, and I'm like, check this out, this game is freaking awesome. They hated it. And I never really got reasons why. They never said it. The closest was my brother, who was like, oh, well, Blood Rain is better. Okay. That's just an opinion, but that doesn't really state why you like it better. And I don't know, I never really got legit reasons why people hated this. Me personally, there are a few gripes that I have with it. Namely, the music gets very repetitive. I think maybe there's 4 music tracks in the entire game. So yeah, the music after a while, it's just like, we're listening to this again. The final big boss, it's kind of a spoiler, but they spoil it at the very beginning of the game in a cinematic, what the Nazis are trying to do. And, okay, I get it, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Kind of spoiler alert, they're looking for the Lost Ark of the Covenant. You know, there can be spoilers at the beginning of movies and games and storylines, but for me, I'm like, that's a big one. We're going to find out what this giant muckety-muck is at the very beginning, and it's not even very intimidating. It's just a Dark Knight dude, Heinrich the First, but, you know, you're playing the game, you get to him, you kill him, and then boom, game's over. So, nothing really shocking, or, you know, it doesn't really have any surprises, unfortunately. Now, those are really my only gripes with the game, aside from maybe the enemies are too hard to kill. There are some stealth segments. Okay, I just remembered that. There are some stealth segments in this game that feel tacked on and annoying as shit. So, yeah. One thing that I am surprised about is the amount of mods. Now, I remember looking into this because I actually beat Return to Castle Wolfenstein several times over, and I wanted to see it from like a different light. Well, there wasn't a lot of mods back in the day, but I went on to moddb.com where I used to download Doom mods, Quake mods, and even uploaded some of my old Wolfenstein 3D stuff. And I was surprised to see that in the last like 3 years, there had been several mods released, even some of them still in development, kind of breathing life into this classic. And I do feel that is what Return to Castle Wolfenstein is. It is a classic. It is not Wolfenstein 3D. It's not exactly the same. But at the same time, you know, it's really cool to see people breathing life back into RTCW. Why? I don't know. Why was this explosion happening? Because I didn't even hear people even praising this game when it was new. I didn't hear people talking about it when I was in high school or anything like that. Maybe they're fed up with the New Order series. I didn't like the New Order series. But it was weird. I remember so many people praising New Order and Old Blood Old Blood continues Wolfenstein 09, which is a continuation to RTCW, but BJ acts like he's never been to Castle Wolfenstein. So, and it's kind of a remake story of RTCW, but it's also kind of a continuation. So, I don't know, maybe fans of the series now are like, we want classic Wolfenstein, whether it's Wolfenstein 3D or RTCW, that's what we want. We want more of that. So, you know, that's really cool to breathe life back into that, regardless of the reason. But yeah, if you want to play this old classic, you can find it on Steam. You can find it on GOG. I believe it's about like $5. If you have a PS2, if you have a PS3 or a PS4, I can't recommend the PS2 version simply because it will not play. Unless like you have your PS2, PS3 modded, whatever. I just don't know. That I haven't touched. The Xbox version is compatible with Xbox 360. Now, one thing I forgot to get into is the Xbox and PS2 version also have a bonus prelude that leads up to BJ being captured at Castle Wolfenstein, and that's also really cool. It is one of the reasons why I do recommend the console version over the PC version. But at the same time, if you don't have an Xbox 360, you don't have an Xbox original, you don't have a PS2, you could get it on GOG or Steam for like $5. So that's pretty awesome. And that was my video. I hope you liked it. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I hope I enlightened you with some classic video game information. And until I see you guys in the next show, just remember, stay cool.